Welcome to the Ukrainian Mountaintop podcast, your connection to the spiritual and cultural life of the Ukrainian community in the Kaszczak Mountains of New York State. Each episode features inspiring sermons, thoughtful reflections, and engaging conversations that honor our rich Ukrainian heritage. Whether you live nearby or are joining us from afar, we invite you to join us on this journey of faith and fellowship. Ласкаво запрошуємо вас на Ukrainian Mountaintop podcast. Ваш зв'язок з духовним і культурним життям української громади в горах Catskills, штату Нью-Йорку. У кожному епізоді на вас чекають натхненні проповіді, глибокі духовні роздуми та цікаві розмови, що вшановують багату українську спадщину. Незалежно від того, чи ви поруч, чи слухаєте нас здалека, щиро запрошуємо вас долучитися до цієї подорожі віри, надії та християнської спільноти.
Welcome to the Ukrainian Mountaintop podcast. I'm your host, Roman Tytla. Thank you for joining us. Joining me today is Reverend Dr. Ivan Kaszczak and Roman Wasylyk. Father Ivan is pastor of the Holy Trinity Ukrainian Catholic Church in Kaszczak, New York, and St. John the Baptist Ukrainian Catholic Church in Hunter, New York. A respected scholar and author of numerous books and articles on the history of the Ukrainian Catholic Church. Father Ivan is equally known for his warm, approachable manner and his remarkable ability to make gospel come alive in everyday life. Beloved by many, he has a unique gift for communicating timeless Christian truths in a practical, down-to-earth way that draws people closer to Christ and his message of hope. We're also pleased to welcome Roman Wasylyk, a lifelong member of the Holy Trinity Parish, who recently moved to Virginia. Roman and Father Ivan have shared a close friendship since childhood. I welcome Roman's dynamic personality and wonderful gift of gab. It makes him a wonderful addition to today's conversation.
Thank you.
So, welcome, Father Ivan, and welcome, Roman.
Thank you.
How are you guys?
Great to be here.
Yeah, how's Virginia, Roman? You just recently moved to Virginia.
Lisa and I just recently moved here 3 months ago. It's definitely a transition, but when people ask, how do you like it? Your home is what you make it. So home is very comfortable. Therefore, my living space is very comfortable. Virginia is a very nice area. I live in an area where I have a view of the Blue Ridge Mountains. The community is very nice. The church we go to is very nice. So it's overall a very nice environment, and we're still transitioning. We still have things to move from New York down here, and we're still in the process of doing that. But overall, it's been a good experience. It's very nice down here.
Well, soon after you and Lisa moved down there, I heard you had quite the traumatic experience. Right after Father Ivan told me about it, I actually read it in the news that same day. A severe storm on June 12th caused a massive event tent to collapse during an outdoor 20th anniversary service at East Lake Community Church in Monetta, Virginia, resulting in 1 death and 22 injuries. You and your wife, Lisa, were among the 22 that were injured, right?
Yeah.
Good Lord. Can you tell us more about it?
My wife and I both were injured. My wife more seriously than I was. By witnesses' accounts, we were hit by the same side pole that holds up the sides of the tent. It hit me in the head, knocked me down, and then proceeded 10 feet behind me to hit Lisa on the side of the head and knocked her unconscious.
Wow.
It was supposed to be a event at the church called East Lake Community Church. Was partially celebrating their 20th anniversary, but the Pastor Troy, wanted it to be more than just a hip, hip, hooray, we celebrated 20 years. He wanted to bring together the people in a way to recognize the beauty that God and Jesus has in our lives. And they have in East Lake Community Church a sanctuary that holds approximately 800 people. They have a 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock service. And they have a sister church in Roanoke, which is about 25 miles away from us. And they stream to that church every Sunday as well. So one of the things that Pastor Troy wanted to get was to bring everybody together under this huge circus tent, which can hold up to 2,000 people, and have one big service on Sunday. And kind of the joke was going to be, you turn to your neighbor and say, are you 11 o'clock, 9 o'clock, or Roanoke person? And it was supposed to be a celebration of all the beauty and things that we have through Jesus Christ. And they had a multiply week, is what they called it. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday night they had services at 6 o'clock. Praise team singing, and then a guest preacher to provide us a sermon. And Friday night it was a freak wind that came by. There was thunderstorm forecast, but there was no rain. But immediately after 6:45, a wind came in less than 30 seconds, blew over the tent,
Wow.
killed one parishioner and injured 22 people. And it gives you pause for what life is and how quickly it can be changed. Who knows what the pounds per square inch knock on my head that I got, and how much more would have caused me serious damage. People that know me may have said I've been damaged already long before that. But in all seriousness, you never know how
Sure.
close
Father
you
Ivan,
are. Or how quick.
Father Ivan, you have anything to say
Father
about
Ivan,
that?
I'm sure will have something to say.
Well, all evidence to the contrary. He's a fairly normal person, and Lisa has been praying for him for a few years, so you can see the progress. The Lord's grace is amazing.
Praise Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's
But
good.
luckily,
Look, it's good you
we
guys
got through
recovered.
it. We recovered.
yeah.
Lisa's looking much better. Her black eye is pretty much diminished. And we, as a matter of fact, are going this evening to our second of 4 trauma support groups to talk with other people who have had, because physical harm is one thing, because that's usually noticeable. You can see when somebody's physically hurt, but the emotional and mental hurt that people have, the PTSD, the emotional harm that can be caused that you really don't know, and what triggers it, that's really, I'm finding, is quite a different journey. You don't know psychologically what and how it's going to affect you.
Yeah. No, that's I can't imagine. But it's good to hear that. You guys are both recovering. I know Lisa took a harder hit than you did,
Yes, she did.
but
Yeah.
it's good. It's good that you guys are okay.
Yeah.
Before we turn the floor over to Father Ivan Kaszczak, I'd like to welcome our listeners to the inaugural episode of the Ukrainian Mountaintop podcast. This podcast features a variety of inspiring content, including discussions like this one, relating to our connections with the greater Ukrainian community, Father Ivan's weekly Sunday sermons, and Gospel Sense, his short reflections that bring the wisdom of the gospel into everyday life. Father Ivan, your chosen topic for today is forgiveness is freedom. Tell us what you mean by that.
Yes, I thought that forgiveness as a quest for freedom might be a good topic for us to discuss today. It's interesting that forgiveness is called by some of the saints love in action. And there's just, if you don't mind me mentioning, in the intro, there are a few things which people need to know about Christian forgiveness. The very first things, when a Christian is asked to forgive, it is never an approbation or an acquiescence or any kind of step that says evil is okay. Forgiveness is never that. Evil and bad things should always be called by their name. And it's even good to have a righteous indignation about evil that is done. But forgiveness is sort of a stop sign that says, I don't want to add to it. I don't want the evil to control my life. I want Christ's forgiveness that I have received to permeate all the other relationships. In other words, I always tell people, freedom is a process. Don't enter into the dance of evil. Say, I don't want to participate in anger that sometimes can last a lifetime.
Yeah.
So that's a lot to swallow. But basically, sometimes people think, hey, I forgive you. That whatever you did evil is okay. It's not okay. But I'm not going to add to it. I'm not going to propagate it. I'm not going to prolong it. I'm going to give both you and myself the ability to be free of the bad thing that was done. So that's why I say forgiveness is a process of freedom for both of us.
Well, Father Ivan, what you're saying is very profound, but a lot of folks tend to, how shall I say, live life by default instead of paying attention to how they react to things. They don't have the ability or
Mhm.
they don't realize that they have the power of choosing to react to a situation in a more positive way. Many folks make an effort to become self-aware, right? Or
Mhm.
practice the ability to quote unquote watch themselves go by. In this default mode, they tend to hold on to a deep resentment that sometimes
Yeah.
lasts a lifetime.
Well, the thing that you mentioned, they are holding on. You are in control of your life. You can't control what people do to you,
Yeah.
but you can sure as well control what you do to yourself. Forgiveness is a process. When the Lord was asked, by his disciples, Jesus, how many times should I forgive my brother? 7 times a day? He goes, no, right? 70 times a day. In Hebrew, there's no superlative degree. There's no better, best. So when you repeat things, that means always, because forgiveness is not a one-time deal. It's a process. It's a process where, say, you forgive someone from calling you a name. And then in an hour, you may have an idea, how could they do that? And once again, now, are you in control of your life? You have the ability to say, okay, stir your heart up. I'm going to get revenge. I'm going to get back at them. Oh, how could they do that to me? Or you can say, I'm a Christian. Maybe I should pray for them. Maybe they have a lot of pain and that's why they hurt me. Because sometimes when people hurt you, it's counterintuitive, but it has nothing to do with you. You know, the whole axiom, hurt people, which is an adjective, and then hurt people, which is a verb.
Yeah.
People who are
Right.
hurt usually lash out. Misery likes company. So forgiveness is a process, it's not a one time deal. And it's a struggle for your freedom, and it's counterintuitive. We want to pick at the wound, we want to um, sort of reverse history, but you can't reverse history. The pain is real, the injury is real, the evil done to you is real. Never deny that. When Jesus got up from the cross, he didn't say, hey, look at these wounds, no problem, forget about it. No, he told St. Thomas, put your hand in there. You guys left me on the cross, but I forgive you. So when Jesus rose from the dead, he didn't say forgive and forget. No, forgive and remember, because we also have hurt people that we tend to forget we've done it. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's easier to offer forgiveness if we remember we have a need for it. Right, Roman?
Yeah, Roman.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I wanted
Absolutely. Both
to
Yeah,
Romans.
yeah.
I wanted to bring him in. Yeah.
Roman W. With two Romans on
Roman
Roman,
there.
W.
oh, pardon me, Roman W. Yeah.
You know, I we are programmed as human beings to want to have things done immediately, especially in this technological day and age. We want things right away.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody gets a phone call. Why aren't they answering right away? But like Father said, it's a process to forgive. I have several situations in my life where I have forgiven, but the pain is still real. It's still there. But I am not lingering on to that pain, in that to say I keep thinking about it, and I want harm done to the other person because they did what they did to me. I let it go. I live a better life knowing that I've done my part. Whether they want to reciprocate, that's up to them. That's their choice. But I have chosen to say I let it go, especially relating to my incident in under the tent. It took literally a split second for me to bend over to put something in the garbage and that pole to hit me. And I don't know if I was out for a while, maybe 5 seconds, because I have no point of reference to see. The next thing I looked at Lisa, and there were three women around her. So it must have been a couple of seconds. But in a split second, and it was a very interesting point to add, that the Sunday before, Pastor Troy preached about how we are like the mist in the morning, and then it burns off. We're there for a split second, for just a few moments, and then it's gone. Bob, who was the man, 86 years old, who was killed, he literally had his hand up praising Jesus one moment, and the next moment, after the pole hit him in the head, killed him instantly, he's shaking hand with Jesus. Nobody knows when your time's going to come. And if I take that to my heart as a Christian, I say to myself, do I really want to have this burden on my life? Do I want to have this hanging on me? No, I don't want to be able to go up to the pearly gates and say, oh, I didn't like this person because they said something bad to me. They did this to me. I want to try to have as clean of a conscience as possible.
Right. And some people tend to hold on to that. I mean, when you forgive, but maybe the person you forgave still has resentment towards you. But you can't,
And
it's tough. It is what it is. I forgive you. And if you don't forgive me, that's okay.
as Father alluded, it's the way you feel about it. And when I say something when I used to say something to my children when they were small, they go, oh, you make me angry. I said, no, I'm not David Copperfield where I'm going to go, ooh, you're going to be angry now. That's your choice. That's your decision to feel that emotion. Right. If that's what you feel, that's yours.
Yeah. And that great individual responsibility, which I emphasize, we are in control of what we do with what happens to us. So you are free to choose anything, but not everything you choose makes you free. And for some people, revenge is a very constant thing in their life. But then they have to live with the anger and the resentment and the revenge that they themselves foster. You can't throw that on someone else if you want to be a person who is control. So in the Christian gospel, God has a great respect for our freedom and our individuality. In other words, when Christ forgives us, when he loves us and offers us salvation, all three are proposals. You don't have to accept forgiveness, you don't have to accept love, and you don't have to accept salvation. And the same thing with us. When we forgive someone, it's a proposition. They don't have to accept it, but as Roman mentioned, that's their decision. I can't force people to love me. I can't force people to accept my forgiveness. But the Our Father says, forgive us as we forgive. It doesn't say, forgive me, Jesus, as people accept or reject my forgiveness. No, I am responsible for myself, and evil is a parasite. And I will not offer it a moment in my life because the pain is real and it has to die a natural death. When we hang on to pain, when we feed it, then it grows. I don't know if you remember, there was a Star Trek episode where evil invades the Starship Enterprise. And it's only when the people begin to laugh that evil loses its power. And so in our own life, when we say, I will not add to the evil that was done in my life, that's when we begin to taste the freedom that comes with forgiveness.
Yeah. Well, with that point, I mean, Roman, when you were talking about your experience with the tent collapse in Virginia and how that one individual lost his life, I mean, life can change in a split second, right?
Yeah.
I find that some folks need a traumatic event to happen before they realize how meaningless and wrong it was to hold on to all that resentment. Another example is when someone is told they have terminal illness. Why should it take a traumatic moment like that to make an individual finally realize how corrosive it all was to harbor all that negativity towards someone or something? I mean, for many, why only then, on one's own deathbed, does one finally realize how utterly ridiculous and unnecessary it all was? Again, life can change in a blink of an eye. So, don't wait. Let it go and forgive now.
We're so caught up in the world that, another example on the same parallel, I would say, is that when people complain about their living environment and how they don't have this or they don't have that, I would say, you know what? When I went to Ukraine to visit my relatives that still had an outhouse, go over there, spend the week over there, see what it's like, and then come back and complain about your toilet seat not being soft or it doesn't have the soft closed because it's not something just doesn't fit your style anymore. We've become jaded in how we feel about things, and the instant gratification. Take a step back, go see what it's like a week in Ukraine in the poor Silos.
First world problems.
What's that?
First world problems.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just don't take the time, even in conversation. We don't take the time to really listen to what somebody is saying to us, and immediately we're already thinking what we have to respond instead of stepping back and saying, "Let me hear what you had to say, and let me be able to answer
Right.
you." Then,
Yeah. We complain about our blessings, right?
yes,
We
Yeah.
complain, oh, we have a house, we have a car, we have our feet, we have our legs, we have our spouse, we have our friends. And then we complain about all these blessings that we have. Well, I would like a taller or a richer or a healthier spouse, or I would like a bigger, smaller, or a nicer view in my house. I would like a bigger, smaller, or better car. These are all blessings that we have. And the pagans were smart. In Christian theology, they say, wherever you have wisdom in something beautiful, God was there. And the Greek pagans used to say in their philosophy, if you want to be happy in this life, have little and desire less.
Yeah,
Desire less.
that's wonderful. Yeah,
because you're not taking it with you, that's for sure.
No place to put it.
and it's also well, it's also weird because a lot of people when they hear the word forgiveness, they think they're doing it for someone else. But
Yeah.
but the freedom part of it is like, no, it's really about finding freedom for yourself.
Yeah, because people often ask me, as a priest and pastor, go, "Well, will God forgive me?" And it's actually a trick question. Only if you want Him to. And how
True.
do you show that you want forgiveness?
Yeah.
Give up the evil. It's like going to a doctor while you're smoking 3 cigarettes and doing everything unhealthy. You go, Doc, can you cure me? Well, yeah, put down the cigarettes, start living a healthy life, and I can cure you because when you do these healthy things, you show that you want it. So, can God forgive us? Yeah. Give up stealing, lying, and being bad to people, and then forgiveness, which is always available to us, will actually enter your life. But once again, forgiveness, love, salvation is a process, but God values our freedom only if we want it. And how do we show we want it? Do what Jesus says, go in peace and sin no more. And it's tough. That's why it's a
It's really tough.
process.
Well, that's funny you say that because I'm thinking, okay, it seems like everyone is carrying around some sort of hurt
Yeah,
these days,
absolutely.
and why do you think forgiveness is such a struggle for them?
Yeah. And the saints realize that they have caused other people pain. The saints knew this. And every person who's a really good human being has understood that. And that's why they're so much more willing to forgive others because they know they need it themselves. It's the person who thinks they're perfect, who it's like never steal from a thief. You're right. The mafia has super righteousness. How could they steal from me? But they steal all the time, right?
Yeah.
You can always tell a great person because they're humble, they're patient, because they realize they need humility and patience themselves. It's the person who doesn't know themselves who is harshest to other people.
That's
That's the way
oh
I found
oh
it
no,
to
you're
be.
nailing it right there, Father Vash. Um, that simple term has so much to it. Know thyself.
Yeah. And every saint has a past, every sinner's got a future.
Yeah.
You can be good if you want to be, and Christ will give you his grace if you want it.
Yeah, I'm going to share
You know,
go ahead, Roman.
I was going to say, what helps me in the forgiveness department is if we look at Luke 23:24, I think it is, where Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they are doing.
Mhm.
When I take that line, I kind of makes it easier for me to say they did it because they didn't know what they were doing. I don't take it as a malicious, vindictive attitude. That makes it easier for me to forgive them. Because if I take it as a vindictive, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, that what you did? Well, I'm going to give it to you. But if I say, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they're doing, they didn't know any better. It's like a child. They didn't know any better. Forgive them. That makes it easier for me. That's my help for me.
Yeah, Roman,
Yeah.
me too. if I could speak for myself, I'm, dealing with some, whatever, people issues, where I confronted someone. I was like, what's up? What's with the cold shoulder? And they told me, and then I realized, wow, this person is, in my opinion, a little
Mm,
bit delusional. So
right.
I said to myself, what, it doesn't matter, um, because when you think about arguments, it's just about one person wanting to be right. I mean, what is
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
core of any argument? Because
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
want to be right,
right.
and
Right.
I heard, I think it was the Dalai Lama, not to bring in other religions into your Father
Sure. Oh,
Vash.
bring it in. That's fine.
He said, if you have a choice of being right or being kind, choose kindness.
Hmm.
And after I had that interaction with that person, I was ready to just like, what do you mean? You have no clue what you, and then I just stopped because I started bringing up the stuff that was like, whatever, it was very old, whatever issue it was very
Yeah,
old. And I
yeah,
was just like, you know what? I'm moving on. And
yeah.
right
There's no
now,
future. Yeah,
I'm going to
there's
be
no
kind.
future in the
There's
past. Yeah.
no, exactly. It's like,
Yeah.
so I'm going to be kind. I'm going to choose kindness and say, can we move on from this? Because I want to.
Yeah, when we're talking about something like that, I had something that lasted 40 years with one person. And recently, this person has been very nice to me. Sometimes people don't apologize in words, but by actions. Whatever was between us has resolved itself over history. And I'm not going to bring it up. They're being nice to me. I'm being
Hmm.
nice to them. Maybe it was a few words spoken, or maybe some words were misjudged, but we're in a good place now. Let it die. I don't need to understand everything. Maybe in the future there might be an occasion, but I'm very happy that sometimes just by doing nice things, people change. And they're maybe too embarrassed to apologize. Why
Yeah.
drag someone through a verbal apology when they're already being nice to you? You know?
Right. Yeah. And I thought about that with the person that I was talking to, his mental state, his current situation, and a lot of that contributes to, I'm going to say delusion, but
Yeah.
I wasn't going to dig it up. Roman,
Hmm.
you would relate to this. Peter Gabriel, he's got this song. It's called "Digging in the Dirt,"
Hmm.
um, and the line is, where I'm digging in the dirt, I'm finding the places where I got hurt.
Hmm.
It's,
Hmm.
it's a good line. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're just
Yeah.
digging in the dirt, man. Move
Yeah.
on. Just let it go. Forgive. And again, it is. It's a very liberating. It's freedom. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something that people misunderstand about the Ten Commandments, but they're really the minimum. Thou shalt not murder is the minimum. The goal is to do what Jesus did on the cross: give your life for the people who hate you. That's profound.
Wow.
That's something that God shows us. While the nails were still in, he offered forgiveness to the people who were crucifying him, right? Like Romans said, forgive them, they don't know what they're doing. But whether they accepted that forgiveness or not, only God knows. But the same thing for us. I think when the pain is still real, when the nails are in our feet and our hands, uh, we don't have to say verbally to the person, I forgive you. But I think as a first step, every Christian should at least pray, say a silent prayer for the person who hurts you, and then continue the struggle against the pain that you feel, and never let the pain of the cross, but the forgiveness that Jesus showed us as an example, struggle for that freedom. Say, no, this evil is not mine. And hopefully, maybe someday in 30, 40 years, the person who hurt me will also be free of the evil. Love the sinner, but hate the sin. So evil is evil. Never say evil is good, but
Hmm.
don't give it a place in your heart.
Great words. Great words, Father Vash. Um, I want to wrap this up because because Zoom only gives us 40 minutes of free
Oh, I
conversation.
was ready for 3 hours. Okay.
it's the free plan.
That's beautiful. I love
Free
freedom.
is good.
They're
Free is good.
It's good. So I wanted, it was this wonderful conversation. Father Ivash, thank you very much for your time. Roman, thanks for joining us down in Virginia.
My
And
pleasure.
I hope you're, I wasn't part of the parish in Kerhunks Holy Trinity, but I bet a lot of people miss you up there. But you're still
Yeah, we do.
involved in
We
helping
do.
out
Yeah.
with the parish. So it's hope things will start.
My
getting
heart's always going to be there. It was my mother's still there. That's my connection. My mother is one of the original members of the parish, and there's a connection there. We saw that church get built. We started that church in the second floor of the Wasylyk building, in that room in the front where Pani Roma had her dance
Right.
rehearsal there.
And it was
Right above the bar where all churches should start.
and it was a Tech Uzar, right?
It was Ted Schuzer
Yeah.
was our first priest.
Yeah, my dad was close with him. He spoke
It
very
was
highly
good.
of him.
He became cardinal. He's buried in Kiev, in the capital of Ukraine now.
Wow. Well, gentlemen, Father, really appreciate your time. I think this went pretty well. What do you think?
I think so too. Thank you, Roman. I appreciate
Thank
the
you. Thanks for
invitation,
sending
and it was very good.
So let's,
Yeah, I think so.
let's try to do this. I don't know if not once a week, maybe once a month. Let's see how you guys feel about that. And Roman, I think it's good. I mean, I figured to have you for the inaugural, but I think maybe we could do this 3-way thing regularly. It's up to you.
I'm fine with it. It's
Okay.
very there are a lot of things that certainly not to take away anything from the Ukrainian church, from Father Ivan, from Holy Trinity. I have a different church set up down here. It's a community non-denominational church. It's different, but with combine that Christian attitude that the people have down here. We're in the South, of course, so there's a little bit more love thy neighbor abound. And what happened with the tent? I mean, it's really been an experience that I don't say anybody or everybody should go through, but it was really something that was really very beautiful. The community at large was very supportive, brought food, and was, Lisa and I joked 2 weeks before the incident happened about, us being in this huge sanctuary of 800 people and not knowing anybody. And Lisa's joke was, well, you want to know how to get to know people, rent the tent and have a strong wind come through. And then you get to know everybody. Because I tell you, we've met so many people, and really good people.
It's that shared experience, that shared trauma.
Yeah. So
I relate that to
this was very good. This was very good.
I relate that to Plas Camp.
Yes.
The worse the camp, the closer I was where I was with my friends.
Yeah. Turns out for the best.
Yes, right. It does. It really does. All right, gentlemen.
All
Thank
right,
you very much.
We'll do this again. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Praise,
right, thank you, guys. I'll talk to you
Jesus.
soon.
Slava Ukraini.
Героям
Jesus
слава.
Christo.
Slava Navi.
Love and Avika.
Okay, thank you, guys.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Ukrainian Mountaintop podcast. Please subscribe or follow us on your favorite podcast app so you never miss a new episode. Until next time, glory be to Jesus Christ, glory to Ukraine, Slava Ісусу Христу, and Slava Україні. Дякуємо, що були з нами на Ukrainian Mountaintop podcast. Підпишіться або стежіться нами на вашій улюбленій платформі для подкастів, щоб не пропустити жодного нового випуску. До наступної зустрічі. Слава Ісусу Христу, слава Україні!